Well, hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue, and I am from OML Embroidery. Now, can everyone hear me okay? Just to check. It looks like it's good, but I always just feel better when I check. I'd like to introduce you to Norman T. Gnome. There we go. Hello, everyone. Karina, Lila. I see Jackie Cheek. Aloha from Hawaii. Oh, lovely. Hi, Judy. Oh, Don is there. I didn't know if he was gonna finish the shipping or join us. But he can probably hear me. So, Norman Gnome, you guys are gonna love this. This is so much fun. I giggled when I created it because I thought, yeah, this is gonna be really good. The T either stands for Tiberius because I'm a nerd, or the Norman the Gnome. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But this is Norman Gnome. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. It's great. Thank you as always to everyone for showing up. We love this is where the fun is and the creating is. So I am working in Perfect Embroidery Professional, which is software from Dime, so Designs and Machine Embroidery, and you can only get it from a dealer or for one of their weekend fun stuff that they have. Please ignore the price on their website. That is, they don't sell it on the website, everyone else sells it. So, but you will be able to do this in any digitizing software that you have. So you can digitize it in Hatch, Wilcom E4, Embrilliance, which is also one of my favorites because it actually works on my Mac, and I love my Mac. Embroidered, you can do anything. We're using shapes, we're using satin stitches, we're using fill stitches, nothing spectacular. Some remove overlap stitches. So it's all just basic stuff. And the idea of these classes is that we're not using clip art. And this is a skill that a lot of people don't have. So even top end digitizers, they are in the habit of getting the clip art and digitizing from there. That's fine and dandy when you have is the microphone okay on my end? Yes. Why? Is there a problem? I thought everyone gave me the clear. Do I need to move it closer? Is this better? Maybe? I need to speak louder? Let me know. So this is, you can be creative yourself. And I think this is a really important skill. The mic is staticky, scratchy sound. How's the internet? It says excellent connection. Maybe Dawn can figure it out. I don't know what that would be. It's scratchy. It's the normal, it's YouTube. That's what it is. It's YouTube. I mean, I can turn it up, but I don't want it to be too loud. Yeah, YouTube sucks sometimes.
It appears, yeah, I think it's just the internet. It could be our internet. I don't know.
No, it says excellent connection.
Okay,
So,
it's YouTube or something. Every Wednesday, you have that a little bit off and on. There's nothing we can do about it.
oh,
It's in their system. Because Saturdays and Sundays are perfect.
that's kind of weird. Maybe there's heavy traffic on YouTube.
Yeah,
So, sorry about that. There's nothing I can do to fix it.
it's
We
not
have
terrible.
no, well, we pay so much money for our internet and our equipment. So, oh, the Gremlin dude's here. Hi, Norseman. It's the Norseman. We always love it when you're there. We will listen between the scratchy. Well, I'll try to speak slowly. Okay, no, I can't do that. Not that slowly. Excuse me. So let's get working on Norman. So I wanted to show you guys what I did. Here he is, the final Norman. And I'm going to show you what I did really quickly. Obviously, it needs a little bit more work, but I made him into freestanding lace. Now, obviously, I would have to do a few more things to it, and I left his nose. But I have my lace maker, which is literally one of my favorite things ever. And I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to take a design that you made and turn it into FSL. So the only thing I would have to do here is I have to put some kind of outline. You can't just leave the stitches like this. You have to have an outline for it to hold everything. Cindy King, hello Cindy King, she's here. So let me show you. If you have Perfect Embroidery Professional and you have my lace maker, this is all it takes. So I've selected the hat and I'm gonna select lace, grid, and border. And there you go. And it's a lace, just like that. And if you just wanted to stitch out the hat, just stitch out the hat. But that's how easy it is with my lace maker. And when you stitch them out, you can do a lot more, of course. Hi, Chris Yost. I see Chris Yost there. And Karina. I think I said Karina already, but hi. There's way more you can do to it. This is like 5 clicks and it's done. But I just wanted to show you guys that. So Control Z back. So Norman. So let's see how we create Norman. Okay, ready? Because this is really cool. You guys are going to be creating so many Normans that it'll be crazy. I think you said the lace maker is a standalone. Yeah, if you just have the My Lace Maker, you can do that as well. Just, I think they've put it into the tool shed. So the tool shed is like a toolbox and you can open up different things. So tool shed is free and you put My Lace Maker in and you can change it and work from there. So yes, standalone with the tool shed. They changed how everything works. So yes, you can. I actually used it for a year and a half or so before I decided to get this. So it's amazing. So triangle, a bigger circle, and it's not a perfect circle, and then 3 circles. This is all that makes up Norman, the gnome, the garden gnome. Believe it or not, that's it. And I think Norman is really cute. So let's get started. In this software, all of the shapes are located up here, up at the top, and it's called Artwork. And I think Embrilliance does it the same way. So the idea of it is that it's not, there's no stitches. Look right here, down here where it's highlighted in blue, right over here. Artwork 0. The 0 means there's no stitches. So it's kind of a cool way of creating things because, you know, you can just come up with it. Hopefully you guys are starting to see shapes everywhere. So this is how I started. And I thought, okay, triangle, hat. Obviously we're not going to leave it like this. Nose, body, we need a beard in there, but I'll show you how I did that. And just some cute little legs. Simple is where you start. That's the beginning. Simple. But obviously this kind of looks like a crappy gnome. So we need to go into node mode and make some changes. So I'm just going to show you guys the first change that I did. And that is working on his hat. So we want to give the hat some style. A triangle is not quite good enough. Ooh, thank you, Sandy. We appreciate that. Every little bit helps. Now you could do remove overlaps and stuff, but I just decided just to kind of work on it myself. So I'm in node mode, edit outlines, that whatever it's called in your software. I call it node mode because I can, I guess. I don't, it just reminds me that we're moving nodes. Alicia, thank you. Adorable little gnome. He's rather handsome, isn't he? I think it's not, I think he's cool. Oh, I see Cindy King is applying the 3-second rule. I believe here in Canada we call it the 5-second rule. We're a bit slower and we obviously care less about it. So, is higher than the recommended bit. Oh, I don't know. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Cindy, eat your candy. Let's go back. I'm going to right click and I'm going to add a point. Now this one has Bezier curves, so this is all I did basically is I just did one point and lifted it up, and that way we don't have to worry about remove overlaps. It doesn't always work and it's not always the greatest, so that's basically what I did for this one. And you know, nothing fancy, one node, and now it's starting to look like a hat, I think. You could leave it like this, you could decorate it, or we can work a little harder on it. It just really depends what you want. Now, I played around with this before, and I kind of came up with that shape, and I thought, okay, I think gnomes have a bit of a curlier area, you know, for their hat. I didn't think it was quite right. Karina, thank you. Norseman, Norseman Tom Gnome. Yeah, that works. We're going to start calling the Norseman Gnome. Gnomey. Gnome Norseman. Yeah, that's funny, Karina. You rock. That's awesome. So let's play around with the shape. Ooh, Sharon, thank you very much. Thank you for all you do, she says. Well, you're very welcome. I am so thankful for you guys, you know, spreading the word, liking the videos, and having so much fun. It's really nice. Wednesdays, Saturdays, and now Sundays. We have a lot of fun. So let's go back into node mode and play around with our gnome hat. Now, you can do whatever you want for his hat. Remember, we're working with shapes though, so we don't want any clip art. If you want to glance at clip art, just make sure you're not copying it. I had to check out some, I checked out not clip art, but actual pictures of gnomes because I wasn't really sure what their hats were like. Turns out you can do pretty much anything that you want for the hat. I just thought like a elf hat. That's kind of what I thought. Judy Warren says, I love the gnome and his name. Norman Gnome. I have to name everything because that's just the type of person I am. So let's add a couple of nodes and play around with it a little bit, and we can play around with our Bezier curves as well. Now I did add another one here because I was trying to figure out what kind of a look I wanted for his hat. You know, played around with it like this. I'm just moving one node just to see how I could make it look, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to pull out one of these Bezier curves and look how that changes it. So I'm just pulling out one of the extensions here. And, you know, you could sit and play with the Bezier nodes to try to remember what they do. It's kind of awesome. Once you get used to it, it's a little bit clunky at first, but you'd be surprised how much time it'll save you, because look at that. It's there and then it curves. You didn't have to add any more nodes. You didn't have to do anything. So I like that. And in this software, it shows you the old path and the new path. And the old path doesn't disappear unless you hit apply. So if you're starting to get confused, I've done it before, just hit apply. But see how groovy that looks already? I'm pretty impressed with it. Now let's just kind of pull that out. And I'm going to move this down a little bit, and we're going to play with the Bezier curves that way. So far, I added a couple of nodes. I'm going to move this one out a little bit, out and down. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's a gnome. So a gnome, it's just a gnome. You can do any colors that you want. He can be doing anything that you want. Let's adjust this so it's a bit smoother. See how I did that? Super easy. And then I'm going to pull this out and we're going to make it into more of a curve. Now you can spend as much or as little time on this as you want. Whoops. See what I did there? I moved it, and that is not going to work because we want to fill it with stitches, right? We want to fill it with stitches. So all I have to do is add another point, add a point, and then when I move it, it goes properly. So however you want your hat, move stuff around. This is where I had the most fun you could have. Just kind of moving things a little bit and move this up here and change it around some. I don't like that little bump in there. Oh, that's better. I just did that by accident. Happy accident. Oh, I love those. And that's how I came up with this shape. I actually like that as well. I would like this a bit maybe taller. So that's all you have to do for the hat. I think that's groovy. This one, not so much. It doesn't have enough flair. There's really not much to our gnome. So I wanted to keep the hat kind of spectacular. So let's look at the nodes I added for this one as a start. So I did add quite a few, actually almost the same as what I did there. This is not quite as pointy, but you know what? If I was gonna do this, then it would be. We can hit apply. So however you want it to look, just keep playing around with it. And you know what? A really good idea is to make a copy and paste and just put it aside on your board, I sometimes call it. And so if you get really lost and add way too many and it's starting to look bad, you can just grab that down and start again. I have done that a few times. I made it a little too complicated for myself. So here's what I ended up with. Now let's take a look at the nodes, how I did it. I added quite a few to get this curve. And if you notice, it's the curve in the hat is not perfectly symmetrical. Like it's not a perfect circle, it's not a perfect curve. It's thicker here and thinner here. And that's what's going to give it character. That's going to give it its style. Don't forget to change angles and hit apply, and then you can see how it looks. I kind of like that too. You could change the stitching. You could make the hat oversized. You could make the hat longer. You could make like a witch's hat, so you can make a Halloween gnome. You could make a jester's hat or a Santa hat even, and put some white fluff around it. There's so much we can do for this. So a lot of style, a lot of color. The hat is the focal point of this guy. Now, what I did for the nose is I had one of these circles. Now, they were all the same. And I just pulled it out a little bit to make it more of an oval for his nose. And then I made it smaller. I'm going to do Control Z because I do want these the same. And then all you have to do is right click and convert it so it stitches. So I just converted it to fill stitches, to Tommy stitches, whatever it's called in your software. You can always make a triangle by doing a closed shape with 3 points. Yep, if you don't want to use, I just find it easier to grab a shape and then it's, you know, just pull it out, and it's a starting point. And a lot of people miss that. They look at it the screen blankly, and they don't know where to start. Well, start with a shape, any shape. What do you have in mind doing? Like I said, when we did the seahorse, I saw it as 2 S's just to give me an outline and a place to start. So play around with it, play around with stitches. You can give this guy a really groovy hat. And like I said, different occasions, different colors, different everything. Witch's hat, I think, would look adorable. So far, so good. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember that. I don't think this would look as good if we had a perfect spiral for the hat. It would look too done, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't like it. So I kind of did this working through, and then I left it because I thought, yep, that's it. That's fine. I don't think I've ever seen a gnome with a perfect hat. So I think that would, you know, kind of change it. So let's go here and work on the beard. Now there's a couple of ways we can do the beard. Easy, different, you know, however you want to do it. The easiest way for me was to use this circle and make a beard using the circle as a guide. Now, more than one way to do it. You can click on this one, you can go into node mode, you can add a point, and I want to make it a line, and then you can pull it out and make your beard that way. I thought that was a little bit fiddly. I thought that would take a long time to balance it off. So I went for this, make an outline, or you can make it in running stitches and just have the beard shorter on one side and longer at the bottom, and use the circle as a guide. So basically the guy's beard, Norman's beard is covering up his body. So you don't have to worry about a body or arms or anything like that. This is what makes it look so cute. However, if you want to do that, you can. So let's play around with his beard. Let's move it down here so we could maybe see better. And I just kind of had fun with it. This is not the same circle. So how about we grab the same circle? I'm going to do a copy and a paste, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to move it down. Lila, thank you very much. It's always appreciated. Now, I don't have a perfect circle, and that's how I thought he looked really cute. And thank you. We appreciate it over here. It's awesome. Okay, so using it as a guide, now you can grab in the shapes, you can do it freehand with a pen, or just, you know, do what you're used to. So we got to picture the nose here, and you can do it simply like here, and I just went back and forth sort of thing, or you can put a little more flair into it. So let's see how we would do that. We want it to be a curve kind of in the middle and then end, and we want it shorter on the sides, so kind of like this, and I'm going to go and fix it after, and the same thing. So 1 2 3 4, and this guy has a big beard, big beard. And here, and I'm going to do half and copy and paste and merge them together. Now this doesn't look the greatest, but I'm just going to put this down, and then I am going to tweak it a little bit. I forgot a note here. Sometimes I do find it easier to do it this way. So instead of, because we don't have anything to copy from, which, like I said, most people do that, you just kind of do it and tweak it till you like it. So we just want to go halfway. So I'm doing a line, a curve, a line, and then back to our circle, and a line, a curve, a line, and something like that, and a line, a curve, node, and a line, and there. So I'm just going to do that far. Okay, I see one mistake, but we're going to fix it. That doesn't look the greatest so far, but let's fix my boo-boo right here. So we want to do, we want to put that to line. So transform it to line. I'm going to hit apply, and now we can tweak. So I'm going to move this back a little bit, and I'm going to tuck this kind of down so it looks like he has a really shaggy kind of beard. So just playing around with it, and the only thing I do want out of it is shorter than longer. That's all I want to do with it. Make it short at the sides and then longer as we go down. So you may have to play around with it a little bit, but I think the curves really work with this. Not so much this one, it's kind of bad. You could put another curve here. Let's do that and see how that looks. That might be a little too round. You can make them smaller. Again, this is where you get to be creative with what you're doing. And this one's bigger, so I'm going to do add a point, and play around with it. Now I'm getting kind of lost. I can't actually, it's a little bit harder to see, so I'm just going to apply right here. See, that's looking okay. Maybe make these a little smaller, and then we can make this a little smaller. So it's just a little bit of fiddly stuff. Let's put them right up here. You could also do a white beard, and you could do a big mustache too, and make kind of like a Santa Claus one. But this guy, this garden gnome, has been out in the garden for a long time. And so he's a mess. So we're going to make him a mess. There we go. So I think that's fine to, give you guys an idea of how to do it. It's a little bit messy, but doesn't it look better than this? Now, let me show you how I ended up doing it. I added smaller pieces. Let's look at the nodes. So I kind of did it just zigzaggy, but I do like the curves in it. It depends on the size too. That's the thing. If you're doing it larger, I think this wild beard would, with extra in it, the curves would look great. But I kind of made a 4x4 gnome, and I thought this looked really good. So if you look, I just basically did zigzags and then I moved them around randomly. So it is just point, 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 just exactly how I did this one, but I went in afterwards and I kind of, made them a little bit longer and shorter and closer together. It's very random. It's very random. This one comes out more. And if you wanted to get it thick like this part and like this part, you just have to bring this out away. Let me do apply, away from, see how that looks? Away from the circle guide, and it makes it look thicker in here. And then you convert it to fill stitches, and this is what you end up with. And you can do half and then merge them together, copy, paste, merge them together. That's fine. You can see I pretty much did that. So you're only doing half the work. But if you want it to be truly random, then just keep going with this. I like it. I think bigger, putting the extra curve in there would look great. It kind of looks weird, but you see how much thicker that looks. So I played around with this. Julie says, I like the random. It gives it individual looks. Yeah, it does. And nice and random and messy. With mine, if you really looked at it, you could tell that it's, two pieces, and I copy and pasted and mirrored and put it over. But he's so small, you're not really going to see all this detail when you stitch it out. Plus, if you go in and you change the angle, which is the yellow line here, if you change the angle, hit apply, they look a little bit different now. This almost looks like satin stitches, but look at this side. Ew, ew, can you guys see that okay? That's why angles matter. I don't think this looks very good, so if yours looks like that, then just move your angle line around. And in this software, it's the black dots that moves it around. And I just maybe a curve like that, but always play around with it. Now, if you look at it, the edges are pretty much all the same. Both sides look pretty good. Maybe a little bit up here doesn't look good, so let's just put the angle straight across and have a look at it. That is much better. Much, much better. But when you zoom out, you can see that it is a little bit, frayed looking, but you're not looking at it like this to see, oh, she copied and pasted. Just make sure it looks good. Let me check the size of this. Yeah, that's only 1.5 inches. So I'm working pretty small here. A majestic mustache. Yeah, you can do that, especially if you're doing a Christmas one. So, the hat we saw, the nose I just filled, and I think it looks better if it is a oval shape. And then I didn't do anything else on the feet other than other than I put them underneath, so change the order. The beard is covering everything on this, so it kind of makes it look cool. Now let me check my size. I think I was gonna stitch this guy out before this, but I didn't get a chance to. So he is pretty small, so we're gonna handlebar mustache. He is cute. He is cute, and you can give this guy as much personality as what you want on it. You can. This is what I decided to do. Can anyone guess here? Look at this. So a striped hat. Why not? Why not? I thought it was cool, and I still used shapes on it. So what I did was I just did a rectangle and I moved it around and I didn't even space it perfectly. It just doesn't have to be perfect. And I made sure that there was really, really good connections on these. So the blue stitches out, and then you can run it here, and the red is going to cover it up. And run it along the side. If you put a little outline, it'll cover up everything. Now, these parts I left, and you can see the difference. So this has connections 1, 2, and 3 will stitch out with no trims. It's just going to stitch the blue, 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 and then it's going to start the red. And you can see, can you see it a little bit here? This is where my connection is. And it's just, fill stitch and then a running stitch, and then it'll stitch out the red. And it can go up here and up here. If you don't do that, look at all the trims you're going to have. Or jump stitches. Either way, you have to fix them. So trims, I mean, you don't want that many trims just for, this little piece. They're hardly anything. So always make sure there's good connections, and that, you minimize the trims. So that's how I did it. Chop it up, make your connections. I think the stripes look cool. Would it be just as good to just lay the blue over the red? You could, but I think you'd be getting thicker here, because we're looking at, okay, so the red has underlay and then cover stitches, and the blue has underlay and cover stitches. So you're basically looking at 4 layers, and I think your machine will bang a little bit. It would be better to do it the way I said. You can leave it, just sitting on top if you want. I mean, that's fine. But to really get into and make a really good design, make your connections so that all the blues stitch out as one, and then all the reds stitch out. I would do the blues first, and then the reds, because there's more of the red. But, it doesn't really matter which order you do it in. But connections, that is another thing that will put you guys well above other people. I'm sure that you guys have stitched out designs that have a ton of jump stitches or trims or unnecessary color changes and stuff, and it's really important that you optimize the colors. So you do all the blues and then all the reds, including the feet. You could see I have a little connection here. I didn't optimize the bottom, but you know what? You could do a foot, and then you could do a connection to the other foot, and then you can do a connection to the hat, and keep going all the way up, and all the reds will stitch down at the same time, and then you cover your connections with the beard. So if you are doing it big enough, you could make the hat into an applique. So the answer is yes, the Norseman suggested that. You could make the hat into an applique. So let's look at the size first. 2 by 3, I mean, that's pretty small for an applique. I think it's too small for an applique because by the time you put the proper satin stitches on it, there's not going to be enough of the applique to show. You could, yes, make it bigger, and you could do an applique hat just by switching it over, but do make it bigger. And then, yes, that's a great idea. You could make it a fun fur beard. Yeah. You could make it applique, but if you do that, you have to remember that you can't do all these. You are not going to cut out these parts. So you would leave it as a circle because the fun fur, you fuzz it out and it'll cover over everything. So you don't need to do this part. So that 2 ways. I don't know if I would do both. You could, because I was thinking as I was looking at this, I thought a plaid hat would be absolutely adorable, especially in the fabric that I've got. I love it. So lots of ideas, lots of ways. Just remember, small, not as many details. So mine is basic and simple because he is in fact small. Let's do it. Let's take this guy and I'm gonna Control C, Control V and paste them, and let's make it a little more reasonable size here. I guess what I could do is bring it over to another one and then we can do some optimizing and whatever. 7 by 10. All right, let's just stick with this. Now, the hat is fine. Okay, I want to see if I can grab, this is why. So, okay, hold on. File, new. And we're going to right click and paste, Control V. Now we're on a new page. And the problem before was that I have like 15 things on my page and it's hard to find what you want. So what I wanted to grab was that because we're going to delete it. So I just copy and paste to a new one. It makes it easier. Good idea, Misha. Plaid hat and cork for shoes. Okay, that is a fantastic idea. I think that would be fantastic. You know, it's even better. Instead of doing a satin stitch for the applique, you can do a raw edge applique. And that would solve the problem of having the applique under here. Check sizes. See, that's pretty small still, but I mean, you could also give him like boots. He could have bigger feet. I mean, this is just how I created this guy. So let's see if we can convert this. Convert to applique. Most software has that. And look at that. Okay, well, we're going to have to move stuff around a little bit, and we're going to have to change the order because he looks kind of strange. So, I mean, that's easy enough to do. But see, create an applique, just click, click, convert it over, and I think we have to make it fit a tad better than that. So what we want is the beard and to stitch out the back, to stitch out first. So let's move it to, am I going to get it right? I did get it right. I never get that right. So the beard stitches out first, and we want a little bit of overlap. You don't want too much. If it changes too much, then you can just make some adjustments, because even though this is a converted applique, I still would make some changes. So I would make this a little bit wider here because there's not really any space in between here. Look at how small that is. So you have to tweak it a little bit. Let's do apply and, you know, play around with it and get a smooth look. That's a bit better, but it would be better if there was a little bit more. And sometimes on the software type satin, oh, see, that's easy to do. You can just change it to raw edge if you want. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that might look pretty cool. And yes, it does look pretty cool. I love it. So that's super easy to do. So cute. Now I really wish I had software to make him. He would be perfect for my tree skirt. Well, I can send you over one if you want, Misha. Just the ones that I did. And you can check him out because he's cute. So you can see when you do a convert like that, you can see placement line, cutting line here, tack down cutting, and then the E-stitch there. So it's all in one. It is super, super easy. Send me a PM after the class. Sharon too? Okay, yep, we can. Now, I haven't stitched him out. I was going to. So maybe one of you can make sure he's good. I might have to optimize him, but I'll get that all done. So how cute is that? I mean, it's super easy. The only other thing I see, because remember I moved the beard to the back, now the shoes are over the beard, and that is not the look that we want. So we're gonna have to find it. So it's this one and this one. So now we want the shoes to stitch out very first. So to front, and let's see, did I do it right? I did it the wrong way. I almost always do it the wrong way, so just never mind me. I almost always. Okay, that is better. So now we've optimized it so the sewing order is proper. I would make a connection under there. Do we have time? We have a little bit of time, so I can show you how I would make a connection. But we've optimized the sewing order in layers so it sews out right. So the shoes are at the back, and you can stitch out the beard, so the beard is over the shoes, and the nose next because the nose is over the beard. And then the applique hat so we can cover up the rest of the beard part. So, okay, let's see here. So I don't think this jump stitch is necessary in any way. So what I'm going to do is take my running stitch, and I'm going to start, like, you can even start somewhere here. Now I'm just doing it over top, and then I'm going to fix it. So just a running stitch, and you change it to the same color, start at one side, go to the next side, and what we have to do is bring this up, and we want it up one more so it stitches out. Did it do it that way? Okay, so we want it one shoe connection, one shoe. Now that doesn't look like it did anything at all, and that is because we need to change the start and stop points. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. Yeah, it added another jump stitch. I don't want jump stitches. So I'm going to select the whole thing. Now you can go in and manually change your start and stop points. So this one, it doesn't really matter where it starts, but we do want it to stop generally where we put the other one, the connection, sorry. And then this connection, we want it to start where the other one stopped. So let's see if I got this right. I don't. So why? I got them backwards. Okay, see what I did there? It still didn't work. What the heck? But I need to move this one to be first, and then the connection in that one. So pay attention to the order is all I'm saying. Or I can just do it again and show you the second way of doing it. So let's do it that way. So I'm going to delete that connection. Oops, I have to have my pointer on there. So I'm going to delete that connection so there's no connection. And it's right first and then left. So now we need to do this again, and I'll show you a shortcut. So running stitch, and you start it wherever you want, and we're going to move it behind, so don't worry about that. As long as the beard is covering it, we will be good to go, and we are going to get rid of that. So let's do it the same color red. Now we have to move stuff up again, and so now we can see, look, it's going right, connection, and left. And you know what? This software works really well, and so it optimized everything. So let's just move the beard, and you can see there's our connection. So it'll stitch out everything on one, and then it'll walk over. I call it walking. So instead of jumping from one object to another, it just takes a nice walk. Now you can do a curve on it, whatever. I just do random so it doesn't show up underneath a lighter color. So kind of a zigzag, but you know, not really either. Just however you want. And we have eliminated a jump stitch, and it's perfect. So that means when you are done stitching this dude out, you don't have jump stitches, you have less trims, therefore it stitches out better than what you had. So let's check another applique part out. Oh, motif. That's one of my favorite things to do, is add a motif around the edge. Obviously, this one wouldn't look so good and it kind of gets bunched up here, but you can pick one that works. Symbol. This is something that looks terrible. This is something that is exclusive to this. Let's see if we can find one that works. They have, nope, that doesn't work either, does it? Balloon, we could try. No, it's a big, huge hot air balloon. A bee, we could do apple. Apple works. Well, that is cute as heck. Oh, look where these two ended up. They're like stinging his eyes out. How violent of me. But you can do it if it's large enough. Apple or ant. So apple isn't going to work either. I'm going to find one. I'm going to find one. Stop. I'm going to find one. Ant doesn't. Okay. Well, we could also go into the symbol and select one. Jackie Burke, thank you very much. So you just want something that's small. Obviously the balloon won't work. Something like the asterisk. Hey, let's put axes everywhere. That would actually be cool, yet violent, but that's okay. Flower. Yeah, you could do a flower. You can make your own symbols and create a folder on your computer. And the symbols are just kind of small, and you can just bring them in and multiply them if you wanted, something like that. I find them fun to use, even in an example like this. All right, that's a little bit strange, but you can play around with the size and everything. It's just fun. And crazy quilting. Okay, that's weird. That's weird. You see it doesn't follow along anything, so that's not going to work. And I don't have the pictures of it. Chris Yost, thank you very much. But you can just play around. Just know your options in your software, that it's not necessarily have to be satin. Personally, I think either the E-stitch or the satin stitch would look good with this guy. Either or. I do want it to be red because I love the fact that his shoes match his hat. It's just fun for me. And then you could use any kind of fabric and make it bright, make it anything that you want. I just think that would be so much fun. I think it would be really good. So does anyone have any questions? Misha likes the E-stitch. So let's put it back on E-stitch. I think it would be cute. If you can't find the automatic applique, you can always do it manually, and all that's involved in that is copy and paste. And if you notice that the lines are different, that's fine. It's kind of, you can use it, you can. I tend to do it manually for no reason, but for example, in Hatch, if you do it with the applique on it, then you can do more things with it. Like you could, if you overlap them, it does it automatically, and it would be great. So cute. So Sandy, that's a great idea. This would be a great Saturday sew along. We could do a gnome. Yeah, I kind of like it. With the applique, I can work on that and fiddle around with it if you guys think that's a good idea. We have an opening for next weekend. So this weekend, the 18th, we're going to do that cool monster guy. And then we could do, I had a bee thing, Be Happy. And then the weekend after that is, believe it or not, August 1st, and we will be doing a dime door because she will be releasing the dime door on the 30th. So, yeah, we can do it. Send it to the testers. Okay, we will do that. I'll think of something cool, that we can do. Maybe we could even make this dude into a stuffy, which is just something that I think is so much fun. That might be a great. I think I keep messing up on my applique on the doors. I must be cutting them too close. Yes, that is entirely possible. If you have a problem with the fraying and everything, do try a little bit of the heat and bond stuff that people use. You don't even have to heat it, but it keeps it from fraying, so you get a nice sharp line when you carefully cut it. It's great for pre-cutting too if you have that. So I'm really happy with Norman. I think Norman, even lace Norman, I think is a whole lot of fun. I love to throw in the lace whenever I can. But simple, you can make it more complicated. You could add more details. You could add a big old mustache. You could have like a shorter hat that just fits down to here and have a big old mustache going on. Anything goes. Christmas, Halloween, a witch hat. So if we look at the striped one, you could make that into Halloween colors easily enough. And I think that would be really cute. So many things you can do to make your gnome out of triangles and circles and ovals. You could make it as simple, and there's nothing wrong with simple. This guy is simple, and it's simply cute. You could make it more complicated, and it would still be cute, but, make a gnome family. Sure, why not? I've seen gnomes, you could put a little flower in their hat for a girl. So many ideas for it. And again, it's just from a triangle and a circle and putting it, in the proper order. Are there any discounts on the lace software? Not sure. I don't sell the software or anything. I adore it, but I don't sell it. I hear that when you go to one of their shows or classes or whatever they're called, that you can get deals on stuff. They put everything, they discount it. So you can, if you want, check it out. They have a camouflage with lace event, which I would seriously love to go, but they'll let you know there. I don't actually know. I'm assuming yes. Yes, a gnome house would be cool. I was thinking like a hobbit house personally, but because I see the shapes in a hobbit house with their doors and everything. So that might be something we could do for the next Sunset with Sue if you guys want. So yeah, feel free to, give up your ideas, put them forth. I mean, I'm doing all of this for you guys. I already know how to do this. I'm doing all this for you guys, so it has to be fun and it has to be what you guys want. So if you show up for the live, you can put your words in and I can, come up with something. It's fun for me. I love it. So I did the lace event and there was a discount on my lace maker. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Misha. It's pretty good. They will discount their software a bit. Best value is to buy a bundle. Yep. I think for the actual Perfect Embroidery professional software, they give a really good discount and they give you patterns and bonuses and all sorts of things. It looked pretty good to me. I have all of the extra stuff, which I find is so much fun. I love having it in. Hobbit house or a mushroom house? I'm in, Sharon says. That's awesome. So shapes, you guys are in on the good stuff that you don't have to rely on clip art, someone else's work to do your work. Now, when you create something like this, it's going to be completely yours because even if you follow this to a T, yours is going to be different from mine. Unless you take a picture of it and put it as your background, but nobody's going to do this. I think we'll have lots of fun with this. So, guys, join me for Saturday when we do another monster stuffy. He is super cute. The testers absolutely loved stitching him out on different fabrics. They came up with fantastic ideas. So Saturday at 10, make sure you pick up your monster at omlembroidery.com. All of the links and everything you need is in the OML Embroidery University Facebook group. So if you haven't joined, give me a like if you like this class. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Thanks, everyone. Bye.